Hello, welcome to Sound Pollution. This is going to be a re-release of some music, and it's going to be really sweet music. And we're going to be episode 35, The Troubadours of Divine Bliss.
Just like the other episode that we released, especially picked this one for in case people were traveling and may or may have little ears in the car. So milder language as far as podcasts go, and a really great duo. They also do a weekly mini concert on YouTube, and they have a very intelligent podcast with inspirational speakers called Caravan of the Heart. Please make sure you like, follow, subscribe, download, and share, and click those links below.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. I love you guys. The Kentucky Beatniks introduced me to your music, and I am so addicted.
Nice. Oh my gosh, how
Thank
kind.
you.
Thank you so much.
Where all have you played? Have you played worldwide, or did you just travel?
Oh, yeah. So we've played worldwide. Actually, technically now we've been to 14 countries since 1998. So, yeah, we've traveled all over Canada, Mexico, and then Europe extensively. Holland, Belgium, France, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Italy, Ireland, Scotland, the Czech Republic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sweden,
Italy,
Denmark.
Where was your favorite place?
German. Oh, it's so hard.
You're like,
but you know what? Ireland was up there.
Yeah, the most charming people in the world, I have to say.
So
Just
much fun.
Yeah, you don't meet a stranger. Everybody's ready to engage in stories and jokes and have a pint.
Music. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, those are my people.
Yeah.
Really into music. So it's just, yeah, it's been a real blessing. We've been all across the states as well. So,
we've been to all the states except for 4 now, I think.
We're troubadours, so we're supposed to be traveling and singing. So, you know.
Otherwise, we'd be couch potatoes of divine bliss, I guess.
So did you I want to say you talked about on one of your Sundays with Bliss, which I'm going to get into a little more in detail for other people later, that you actually lived on the road for a while. How was that?
No, that was wild.
It was the polar opposites. It was absolutely exhilarating, and it was absolutely exhausting. At times,
there's the spectrum right there. Yeah.
Mostly, especially starting out, it was exhilarating. But after 3 years of living on the road full time, it gets a little exhausting after a while because you never have your own space to just be. You're always in a public space or staying with someone else, or you know what I mean.
We did it for 3.5 years before we landed here in the National Forest, and you're on it and in it all the time. And, and then like Amy said, you're staying, you're either camping. And so you're out there and you get to chill, or you're staying with people, and then then you're visiting a lot. And so after a while it got really hard to be on the road full time. We just ached for our own place to make a bowl of oatmeal and sit down with the instruments.
But at the same time, it was absolutely exhilarating. I mean, there's no
the best stories of our lives,
truer experience of freedom than to literally be living in the moment where you are, and the magic that can unfold from that. When you're like stuck in a rainstorm in a bathroom at a national park in Canada.
I didn't know which rainstorm story.
Right. And a couple comes running in, on their honeymoon, escaping the rain. And then you have a picnic in the bathroom
and serenade them with the guitar and the accordion
on their honeymoon.
Oh, how fantastic.
Yeah. And they share their exquisite picnic and brie and wine and cheese with you. And, and, but it's just like so many magical things can happen in those moments too. And oh my God, we just loved it. And when we went to Europe the first time, we went with one-way tickets and $100 and no shows. We were just going to busk. We were just going to street perform. And so
that's really brave.
Yeah. Yeah, it really truly was. At that point, though, we had been street performers in New Orleans for a year and a half, I guess. And
the adventure, I mean, got your adrenaline going so much that you just you took it day by day. So you're like, oh my gosh, we've got enough money to, survive on today. And then the next day, like, oh wow, we got enough money for, to jump on the train and go to another country. So let's do that today. And and it was just like a very, very great opportunity to live in the now and just be present to what was, showing up, to be recognized, or invitations. Like people would say, hey, why don't you come, to Switzerland? And we're like, well, let's take down your information if we end up that way. And the next thing you know, somebody else says, why don't you come visit me in Zurich? And you're like, well, that's 2 invitations to Switzerland. We're supposed to go to Switzerland. So
yeah, we're going to Switzerland now.
Yeah.
Which I heard is also beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That means it's true. When we answer
best chocolate.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
I could never give that up. I'm trying to eat healthier now and cut down sugar. And I was like, I can do that, but I'm not giving up. I'm not chocolate. No.
Yeah.
Chocolate's good for you.
Yeah. Dark chocolate, especially, which is the best.
Thank you. Dark chocolate. Maybe a little sea salt. Never hurt anybody.
Oh, I haven't had dessert. Stop. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves individually and tell my listeners how you got started in music?
Well, I'm Renee Ananda, and
the
accordionist and
singer and
thank you,
dancer and pianist and ebow player. And
okay,
beautiful redhead. Oh, go ahead. You
I think that music, I know, probably happened when I was in the womb, because my dad loved to sing and play the piano, and so as long as I can remember, music has always been in my life. Starting out being little and him sitting at the piano playing, I would sit on his lap and right in between his arms as he played. And he was a crooner, and he sang. And I grew up in, he was in a singing group that traveled all over to churches. And so when I was little, like, I can remember early memories, 3, 4 years old, getting up on the platform during a service at church and singing. And so, I mean, music, I don't remember a day there wasn't music. I think with me, it's been from the beginning. So it started with, singing in church a little bit like that, being young. And then the next thing I knew, my sister, who's 21 months younger, I remember sitting in the backseat of the car and my dad teaching me how to sing harmony with my sister, who was singing the lead, and, a little bit of about a year and a half, maybe 2 years of piano lessons when I was in 3rd grade, and just went from there until I got to later in life. But I'll let Amy catch up here, and then we can get to those stages in life. So go ahead, Amy.
I'm Amy Smiley, a guitar player, drummer occasionally, and singer. And music was introduced to me, I guess, by my father. My dad was a singer, and he played acoustic guitar and a lot of the old school country songs.
Yeah.
And he actually was kind of a hotel lounge singer of old country songs, and he would practice in the living room, and I loved singing along Kenny Rogers and Merle Haggard and Conway Twitty and all the guys he was singing. And so I think that probably really sparked music a lot for me. Of course, it was like already there. And then I, always sang around the house and sang plain and everything else. And then when I met Renee when I was 13, we showed up at her church. She was behind the organ and singing, and her dad was singing, and her sister, and I was just like, whoa, this is like the Partridge Family evangelicals. This is awesome. They're so talented. Oh my gosh. And so we became friends, and then they like taught me what they knew about music, and she taught me about harmonies and how to sing together and all that good stuff. And so I've always wanted to perform and sing, and that just really inspired and sparked and educated me.
So you guys go way back.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So she just hinted at
Way
that.
back.
So we met when she was 13 and I was 15. So we've known each other now. Oh, boy. Is it 36 years?
I don't know.
Something like that. There's
We
a
need
lot
to
of
do
math.
some math. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. Because 25 years as Troubadours and Sweethearts and 11 years being best friends.
Yeah.
36, I can do math.
All right.
You're way better than me today. Did you guys start performing that young together? Have you been together performing ever since?
Not ever since.
Okay.
But we did start back then, and actually we have old VHS tapes of us singing with my sister.
Big church hair and
like the 80s mall hair.
Oh,
yes.
Like, but add Pentecostal to that, and it gets even higher.
Well, and a can of Aquanet for those who know what that is.
Yeah. Nobody should get near a fireplace.
Right. It's very dangerous. Don't smoke into your
Don't smoke into your hair.
So we would perform together in church during our high school years, so around 13 to 16. So we sang together then. But then she went off to college, and I went off on my journey, and so we stayed friends, but we weren't performing together until we fell in love in 1995.
Ran away to New Orleans after Amy proposed that I join her on a grand adventure and pick up my life and move with her to New Orleans. And I said, yes. And then we, within, I don't know, like a week or so, no, right away, within a couple of days, we were doing Christmas songs out on the streets of New Orleans. And
that's amazing.
Just learning our instruments right there on the street. She had a dream she was playing the accordion, so she got one. And of course, they love and understand the accordion in New Orleans. And so lots of great inspiration there. But yeah, we just immediately just immersed ourselves in music, and we're so open and no pressure on ourselves to be anything or be any particular way, but to just express ourselves from our heart. And people were so supportive and encouraging, and we just continued from there.
And we've been doing it ever since. Yeah.
You were friends and started doing music together when you were kids, and then you went your separate ways. You came back together, you fell in love, and now you're doing this music together now, and you've been all over the world. You are relationship goals.
Well, it is a pretty extraordinary.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it is. It's like we started writing a book, because it's just such an extraordinary story. And we've just been on a grand adventure as individuals, and then, throughout each other's lives. And the past 25 solid, being Troubadours and Sweethearts. And it's just, it's amazing what has unfolded for us.
I hear a dog.
Yes.
So when I saw pictures of on Facebook.
Yes, that's little baby Lovin'.
We just rescued this puppy, and he just got fixed today.
Yeah, he got neutered today, so he's
a little pitiful.
Yeah, he's a little pitiful. He's laying here beside us, so we're
if
just
you hear some noises, send him love.
He just needs love.
Don't we all?
Exactly.
We all do.
Need to be fixed?
No.
Okay, right.
No, but no, I mean, I had one and I'm good.
I'm just kidding. Oh, that's so sweet.
I have one beautiful 15-year-old who I am convinced is going to change the world.
Absolutely. We believe.
Yeah.
I think that whole generation is just going to be.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Every path we started, they are gonna just make it wider and more beautiful. I can't wait to see it.
There's so much more inclusive,
Yes.
And it's going to help with so many problems that come up now that keep us separate and keep people the other and compartmentalize. They're just so much more open and accepting.
Evolution is real.
Yes.
Of themselves and of other people and of however you want to identify. And, it's just amazing.
She just makes me so happy. I'm actually I'm actually trying to buy an RV so I can take her to the Grand Canyon before she goes off to college in 3 years.
Oh, it's incredible.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm like, she has to. I want to take her there and to Mount Rushmore.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow. Do it.
Well, you know, you can just rent them too. You don't have to buy one unless you want.
Oh, no, but I want to, because when she goes away, I'm going to live in it.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I'm going to downsize.
Nomadland? Yeah.
No, I haven't. I heard it's amazing.
Well, yeah, it's all about that.
Yeah,
well,
you got to see
you
that.
can understand. Well, living on the road is amazing, you know, talking about that.
Everybody should do it. I mean, it changes you. And, you know, you're forever altered and it expands you. You never, you meet every kind of person and you engage with every kind of person and you never again, you know, could ever have, at least not in being aware of it, a judgment, you know, because it's just, you just see so many different people on so many different journeys and you understand that, wow, you know.
And you learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
What you're made of and, you know, what your limitations are and how, you know, how you can expand too. What's important to you.
Oh, I'm looking very forward to it. So was there like an aha moment for either one of you as far as music was concerned that made you go, this is where I'm meant to be?
It's a constant aha moment. Because, you know, ever since we made the leap to start making music for a living and pour, you know, our hearts and message into it, we've been completely provided for, and that has just not changed. You know, it even at times when we've been just barely hanging on by a thread, then always something further gets extended to keep us going. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just aha in the sense of affirmation and, you know, definitely making us aware that this is our at least a big facet of our purpose, you know. That
Well, for me personally, this is Amy. I did have a big aha moment with music because from early on, pretty much, you know, 17, maybe even earlier, I really was on a path of going into the theater or going into film, doing acting. And so I was really pursuing that. But it was always a struggle. You know, I lived in LA, I lived in New York, and I studied it in college. And, you know, I performed some and all this, but it was just like always just this kind of struggle. For me to do it well, like I was too self-conscious, but also it's always a struggle to just get in, to get a part and to actually be able to do it. So it was just this constant struggle. It was just tearing me apart. And music was just so easy. It came so easy. I didn't really put a lot of pressure on myself about it. It flowed easily. I could let go of myself very easily in it. And so I just went with the flow, and I knew I wanted to be creative, and I knew I wanted to express myself through the arts. And I always thought it was theater, acting, but I started to sing in Chicago with another gal right before we became Troubadours. And it just felt right, and it felt easy, and it just continued to flow from there. And then I loved the immediate connection with people, and that you could do it anywhere, and you didn't have to, you know, audition or get permission or, you know, get accepted. You could do music anywhere, anytime with anybody. And so I was just like way turned on to that. And it just became an easy open door for me. And I'm just so grateful for it. It's been such a blessing, such a healing in my life. And hopefully, you know, for others
it's
too.
an extraordinary way to connect to people, you know, because it just, everybody loves music. People just like different kinds of music. But I've never met a person who says, I don't like music. They just,
that would be weird.
Yeah. I've never met that person, but I have met people who like different music maybe than I like, or than that this person likes. But it's just an amazing way to connect, because you can be on stage and walk off that stage, and because you've shared intimately your heart or your story or a message in the music, people feel open to you. And so what you can extend, you know, gets picked up more easily than, say, if you're just out, you're making robocalls, or you're trying to, hand out pamphlets or something like that. People are more welcoming of receiving messages and heart stories through music. And so it's just a wonderful way to connect.
It's where you guys are supposed to be.
Well, thank you. That is what we feel too. We're just so grateful. And especially, when COVID hit, because we do this for a living and have for 25 years. COVID hit, all our shows got canceled, and we were like, what are we going to do?
It was rough and painful for everybody, I think.
Yes. And so that's why we invented our weekly online concert, Sundays with Bliss. And that has just helped us sustain, during this age of this pandemic, and given us a way still to connect and still to fulfill our purpose.
So how can my listeners find your Sundays with Bliss concert?
Well, we stream live on YouTube. So it's youtube.com/Divine Bliss. So if you like that and subscribe and hit the little bell, you'll get reminders. And we also stream live on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Troubadours of Divine Bliss. And so you can catch us in both of those places.
I know you guys are going to get back to performing live, hopefully soon, especially with people getting vaccinated and whatnot. Please don't stop doing that concert, though.
You're not the first person to ask us that. And I think we really have found that, so we've got some shows coming back, like in May, it's just one. In June, I think we have like maybe 4 or 5 shows. July's just maybe 3. It's coming back slowly this year.
Right.
But when we play, we're mostly playing regionally. So you're going to catch us in, Kentucky or Indiana or Ohio or something like that. What we're finding with our Sundays with Bliss show is we're connecting not just with people all over this country, but actually all over the world. And so it's a way for us to, continue to troubadour and have a bigger outreach than just the local or regional shows. So it's meant the world to us to create this community and have people, watch from all over and know that we have a way to connect, even if we're not in your town, we can, connect on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and have an amazing time together.
It's been really amazing to hear from folks about their connection to Sunday nights and how it's been kind of a lifeline or kind of an anchor for them during this time. I know I've experienced it that way, is like having that ritual of that show, and that even though we're not, the audience isn't there, we feel that connection. We know what that feels like, and we imagine and feel them there with us. And also to kind of talk through and work through everything that we've been going through this past year. So it's been, I think it's something that wants to continue, and we're happy to do that. We'll probably have to consider doing some pre-recorded shows and stuff like
Sometimes
that.
when we have Sunday live shows, but we're still figuring out how it's all going to unfold, but we are definitely full on in it. So yes, thank you for making that request.
I didn't get the joy of discovering it till after I interviewed the Kentucky Beatniks, which
love them.
Yes,
I know. And you guys performed with them and have written with them, correct?
Oh yes. Collaborated the whole bit. Yeah.
Jen Yates, the drummer extraordinaire, is on our latest CD, Every Heartbeat.
Yes.
And we are we did a song written by Nick Payne on that CD as well. And we have collaborated with him, co-written and performed with him for many years, and we're huge fans of theirs. Yeah, their music and their souls.
They're a great duo. I mean, it's totally dynamic and so talented. Oh, see, we said it again.
Must be true.
We love them to pieces. I'm so glad you got to interview them.
Oh, they just made my, and I was really nervous, and I told her, I was very honest with her. I was like, I should not have Googled you first. Horrible idea. Because I was just like, oh my God, she's literally like a superstar, like just living in Kentucky. It's fine.
She is. They both are. Oh
Yes.
man, good. I'm
Yes.
excited that happened.
And so then that's how I found out about, because one of them shared, and I think it was your Sundays with Bliss, and said that I should interview you. And I was like, well, who are they? And I was like 5 minutes in, I was like, oh my God.
Are you a musician?
Ish.
Nice.
Well, that's a yes. Ish is yes.
You sing and play.
I sing. I struggle with instruments. I literally only learned to play the guitar enough to be able to write.
That's great.
But not enough to play in front of people.
Well, that's great. I think when you go on the road, you're going to find that is such a great way to meet people and connect.
When you get your RV, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I'm so excited. Your recent release, which is titled Every Heartbeat. I'm going to ask you about the first track on that, Make Something Beautiful. Mm-hmm. What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, you know, you get a lot of choices in your life, and you can choose just to show up as love. And if you're showing up as love, you are making something beautiful of your life, you know? And so it's just this feeling of calling up every man, every woman, every boy, every girl to their highest selves, and encouraging them to just make, you know, you got this life, make something beautiful of it, leave a legacy, you know, change your little part of the world or change the whole world, but do something, you know, to color it beautiful and
express your creativity. You know, follow your bliss, literally, like let your joy be led by your joy.
Ooh, I like that. Be led by your joy. That's going on a Post-it in my bathroom mirror.
That's an aha moment.
There you go.
That's a tweetable moment right there.
Tweetable. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of every episode, I always say "be kind and make some noise." But after listening to that track, you say in that song several times "be love."
Yes, be love.
So I might be changing my "be kind" to "be."
I like that.
So
you can, you know, that you can do it
challenge.
all. Yeah. So we actually started an organization in Louisville called Mighty Kindness. So we love kindness. It's a community unity festival that supports all that's kind for the body, soul, and mind. Ooh. And so kindness, love, it's all the same.
You can be loving kindness.
Yeah. You can be kind of loving.
Yeah.
Reaching for the stars, everything I need is in me. Take me far. I'm bolder than I know, wiser than I show, more mighty than I seem, more worthy than I believe. Be wise, be true, be good, be fierce, be free. Free your dream and your destiny. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Step up, sing out, stand out, dance wild. Live it, give it, dream and scheme. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives. And be love. And be love. There's something wonderful within us, shining, unique souls full of stardust, here to show off God's imagination, here to be our ultimate creation. Be wise, be true, be good, be fierce, be free. Free your dream and your destiny. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Step up, sing out, stand out, dance wild. Live it, give it, dream and scheme. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Make something beautiful reaching for the stars. Everything I need is in me. Take me far. I'm bolder than I know, wiser than I show, more mighty than I seem, more worthy than I believe. Be wise, be true, be good, be fierce, be free. Free your dream and your destiny. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Step up, sing out, stand out, dance wild. Live it, give it, dream and scheme. All women, all men, all girls, all boys, be loving. Make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives. And be loved. And be loved. Let's make something beautiful of our lives. Fill the shadows with the light. Fulfill the purpose of our lives. And be loved. And be loved. Be loved. Make something beautiful. Be loved. Make something beautiful. Be loved. Make something beautiful.
The other song I'm going to play for my listeners, I'm sorry, I just have the hiccups, excuse me, is Still Here, which I've listened to everything on there, by the way, just so you know, but Still Here. And I've been real honest with this about, I think the last 3 or 4 episodes, because I don't think a lot of people talk about it enough. I suffer from anxiety, and I feel like a lot of musicians I know are the same. I don't know if it's just because we're more open to feelings or we're always thinking about things, but most of the musicians I know suffer from some sort of anxiety. And I found the track Still Here to be kind of, there's several songs I listen to every morning, and this has gotten thrown into the mix. What was your thought behind that song?
Well, it became extremely relevant during COVID. Now, it was written pre-COVID and actually came out with for some people who were surviving things like breast cancer. And so it came out for survivors of all kinds, survivors of domestic abuse, survivors of terminal illness, survivors, of mental illness, of all different kinds of things, of surviving addiction, and so it came out as this, I'm still here, so still here as in I'm still alive, still here as in I have overcome, and I am, I'm still here. I'm not numbed out anymore. I'm alive, and in my life and my purpose, but then when COVID hit, it just took on this whole other level, because it things were shut down all over the world, and it kind of became this anthem, like I'm still here, and this person over here, I'm still here, and we're still all here, and so it's and just, the thing is with music, it's you write it with one intent or inspiration, but it's so personal and it's received so intimately that it's just, always a different answer for everybody, depending on who the listener is and what it means to them,
I think that's one of my favorite things about writing lyrics is like, I'm writing something for this thing, but somebody else is going to think of it this way. And I guess that's how I took that song, because when I heard it, the line that stuck out to me was fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Yeah.
And every morning I wake up and I'm like, this is my body. You don't get to control it. I'm going to get up again.
Yeah.
I really loved the song. It, like I said, it's been put into my mix. There's several songs I listen to kind of get me out of the morning anxiety and into my day. And I just found it very moving.
Oh, thank you. It definitely is, it is an anthem, and that's the intent, is just to call you up, and lift you up and empower you and just reinforce you in whatever way you need to be reinforced. Because if you're still here, you're alive, and you're aware, and that's something to really be strongly grateful for. And and so what a great way to start your day.
It's a new thing I've done over the last 3 weeks. And yeah, I find it very helpful. I know that a lot of people struggle with anxiety, especially after this last year. People who have no idea what anxiety is are feeling it for the first time.
Yeah.
How do you deal with your anxiety?
Sometimes I flip out for no reason and I just have to let it be. And then other times, I stay home, and other times I just breathe. It really, not every attack is the same. Right. I did start going to a meeting actually in the Highlands.
Good.
They just kind of a group meeting, hey, you're not alone. We all go through this. It's really great. It's called Uplift. They changed it. So it's Uplift something now. They've changed it. But it's been rough. Yeah, it's great. I just haven't been able to go because of the pandemic. I've been a handful of times to take a friend who is not doing well. And that's it, because at the end of the day, I cannot bring this virus home to my daughter. So things that we're getting there. Actually, the leader, he's so sweet. He messaged me a little while ago and was like, they're great. They're very kind people.
Oh, that's good. That's really important to reach out, and
gathering
group support is
group support and community is so important.
And then knowing your own personal techniques that help ground you and center you and bring you peace.
And knowing you're not alone, and
show you I care. Hold your head up, keep your chin out, don't give up, don't give in. Don't get depressed, get determined. Don't get depressed, get determined. I'll be alright. Oh, I've been through the fire, I've seen the light, staring into the eye of a storm. Speaking to listening, shouting to saying, down to praying, despairing to believing. I'll be alright. Oh, I've been through the fire, I've seen the light, staring into the eye, the storm. The fruit of the tree, my heart escapes the bars of its cage. My soul shouts when it feels its wings stretch out.
What would be a piece of advice you would give somebody who's new to the music scene or who wants to be a musician, that young musician?
Well, the first thing that I would say, because, I started out making music from a very early age, and then somewhere along the lines, it lost the blissness and became business. So it's very important to protect your muse and to really always create from your heart, from that pure place. Always stay impassioned. A lot of people, they try to emulate, someone else, or, it's very important to be individual, to color outside the lines, to just find your own voice and your own expression, because we're all here with such unique things to offer. And so to trust that, it requires a lot of trust to be your own voice and to express what you've written in, to finally say out loud what you've written in your journal, or, the song that you've, played on your guitar or the piano or whatever instrument, to put it out there. But it is also important to do that, because you find out while you create in the moment, you maybe for yourself, for your own story or for someone else's story, ultimately music really is a big medicine for others. And so it is important to share it, because people connect to it. And, but staying true to your heart, staying true, to your message, trusting that you have something unique to share, is really, really important. How about you, Amy?
Wow. Well, a lot of what you said, definitely. And it depends on, what is your goal? Do you want to just make music to make music, or do you want to be a professional musician? Those are two totally different, not totally different, but different, choices. And so I guess I'll answer both. So if you just want to make music, and, I would say, like Renee said, listen to your own voice, find your own voice, and continue to express it, and connecting with your heart. Music comes from your heart, not really your head. And so get out of your head and into your heart, and try to come, from that place as much as possible. Find what you're passionate about, writing about. Write in your journal, even if you're not ready to write a song. Lyrics might be coming, or a story might be coming.
And always keep it blissness. You have this gauge. Is this business or is this blissness? And if it's blissness, you're following your heart,
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be a full-time musician, then you need to be prepared to live simply and to, sacrifice a lot. And, and that's okay for some people. And for some people, it's really not. They need security. So probably as a hobby, music is a great thing. I'm not trying to deter someone, but
no.
Basically, I just want to be, you can actually be a full-time musician and support yourself by doing it. But there's a level of simplicity involved, and but mainly it's really about connecting to your muse, connecting to your heart, trusting your voice, and finding
and making something beautiful of your life.
That's right.
Yeah, I like that. And real quick before I end this, shout out all your social media so people can find you.
All right. So Troubadours of DivineBliss.com. That's TROUBADOURS of Divine, DIVINE, bliss.com. Catch us, the same thing. Just find us on Instagram, Facebook, which is Troubadours of DivineBliss.com /
Troubadours of Divine Bliss.
Oh, that's Facebook.com / Troubadours of Divine Bliss. Sorry.
Right.
YouTube.com / Divine Bliss. But yeah, maybe we can put them in some comments for you.
Oh, absolutely. Send me all your social media links and I'll put it down in the description.
Come see us on Sunday night, 7 p.m. for Sundays with Bliss.
You will not regret it. Makes me sad. I don't always get to watch it when you do it. I have to sometimes go back later.
That's the great thing. You can watch it anytime. Yes. You don't have to be there.
Keep tuning into Sound Pollution.
Yes, Sound Pollution. She's trying. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show. It's been such a blessing. I really I can't. I'm
Oh,
so
likewise,
in love with.
likewise.
Now I'm in love with your story too. It's the
Oh,
thing
thank
now.
you, sweetheart.
Thank you. We're so
Yes.
honored that you asked us to be
you.
a part of this. And
Absolutely.
we
I
wish
appreciate
you
you.
many, many blessings, blessings, and success and joy and peace in your life, and great things in store for you.
All right. Thank you guys. Go take care of little baby Boo Boo in the back.
Okay, we will.
Killing
All
me.
right. Blessings and blessings. You know what this means. Mwah. Mwah.
Be
You guys
kind.
have a good night. Thank
Be
you so
loved.
much. Yeah, be love and make some noise.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. That again was Amy and Renee Smiley, the Troubadours of Divine Bliss. And as always, drop down, click on those links, go to their social media. You won't regret it. I can't recommend enough the Sundays with Bliss show. Please make sure you click that little bell on YouTube, and it'll send you a reminder of things that are coming up. If you're able to, please become a patron of Sound Pollution. That link is also below. Be love, make some noise.